we're going to make another tape. And this time, as you can see, I'm standing up, and we're going to try to make a little bit of a variety here. And this tape is on outside sales. We're going to talk about selling for outside salespersons, although I guess a lot of it will be applicable to selling generally. And of course, most of it is oriented towards selling at HISCO. And with that in mind, just wanted to show that I can stand up here. I'll sit down. Excuse me. And let's see, bring the picture in a little bit better. I can see myself over there. And tell you that today is April the 2nd. It's the day before Easter. It's Saturday, and it's around 11:30, and we've removed all the clocks out of the office so that you won't hear any gonging or maybe no fire trucks go by. And so we want to have the air conditioner on. Just a minute, I'm going to turn this off. Turn the air conditioner off so we can get probably the best sound. Okay, hello again. And first let's talk about who am I and what are my qualifications to talk to you about selling. I really haven't sold for years, haven't gone out and made sales calls trying to get a customer to buy something that we sell. But I did sell for a long time, and I carried the bag, as we say, and I've visited many customers, and I know times change, and I know people change, and the things that we sell and the type of customers that we sell have changed. I'm overwhelmed and baffled at the things that you all sell. A lot of it, I don't even know where it goes, and you're growing up around my education, but still, I have carried the bag, and there are certain things in HISCO that we can pass along, and there are certain, a style, again, if you will, of a culture and a HISCO salesperson. We like to think that when you go out, you're a little different, and you have certain characteristics and certain style, and all of these are good and classy. We don't want to manufacture everybody here in the company to be the same as everybody else. We're not here to make you into a zombie or a clone of any sort. We want you, though, to have certain characteristics and traits comparable to the others in the company that are good. There are general rules for outside salespeople. You learn these in classes. It's the sort of thing your mother and your daddy didn't teach you, and it's the sort of thing that's mostly social skills, and some that we all think we have, but maybe it's good to talk about that. These are also tools when you get into some trouble out there, in conversations, in embarrassing moments, and you find yourself drifting into situations that you shouldn't have drifted into. There are tools and there's guidelines, and you can be thinking and get yourself some help. So we're going to talk mostly about the social side as opposed to no technical selling here at all. First on my notes here to talk about is, what do you bring to the job? What is already within you that you bring to the job, or we hope at HISCO that you have brought to the job? Well, you brought the way you look. You are what you are, as Popeye says, and your appearance, the way you dress, the first impression that you make, as you know, is very important in life and in selling, romance, and your attitude, the way you look at life, and the way you see yourself and others in life. We would ask you to bring pleasantness. And when you're outside selling, you almost need to be warm in whatever way that is to you. You have to be interested in other people. You cannot be a good salesperson and be very conceited. You have to be, that terrible word, nice. It sort of encompasses everything and really says nothing, but you know what I'm saying, nice. You have to be attractive. You have to be welcome when you go in someplace, and you have to have an attractiveness about you. It doesn't mean handsome or beautiful, but attractive. There are some very ugly people that are very attractive. You cannot be cynical. You cannot be a wise guy. You cannot be sarcastic and succeed in selling. Eventually, you will say or do something cynical or sarcastic, and you will hit a nerve in the person that you're dealing with, and then you're finished. On all the radio talk shows, the wise guy talk host never seems to last. You know, they go from town to town. They get a new job in another city because eventually they hurt everybody. You agree with them when they're on your side, and then eventually they say something that you don't like, and then you're done. So you just can't be sarcastic or cynical and succeed as an outside salesperson. It just doesn't compute with nice, warm, attractive, all the things that we said at first. You must have within you a sincere desire to want to be helping people. You have to be a team type person as opposed to an individualist type person. You have to be willing and wanting inside of you, enjoying giving in some way. You like people to say about you, he would give you the shirt off his back. That has to apply to persons in selling. And again, in selling, they're selling, and then they're selling. There's the person who sells magazine space. There's the person who sells in the hardware store when you walk in. Is that selling? There's the person who sells everything you can think of in stores and on the road. Some must persuade, some must wear well, some get one shot, the door-to-door salesperson. So selling is a catch-all word in itself. We're talking today about selling at HISCO, industrial sales. You have to be ambitious in the nicest sense of that word. You have to want to have more. In HISCO, I have watched younger generations of people come along as well as myself. We go from the Chevy Vega to the Celebrity to the classic Caprice to the Oldsmobile and on and on. I'm up to Lincoln. Many of you went from an apartment to a house to a pool to a bigger house. This is ambition, and this is wanting more for yourself and for the others with you. If you are at a station or time in life when you are content with what you have, you will probably not make it in sales. You need this drive, and one of the drives is this drive for material things for yourself and for your next generation, for your children. You have to have in you somewhere competitiveness, wanting to win and not liking to lose. There has to be a drive within you that is disappointed when you don't win, hurt, if you will, but a drive. If you don't care, then you're not going to try hard to sell, because selling is a bit of a victory, and you want to be competitive. You have to bring enthusiasm. When I took the Dale Carnegie course, the teacher that we had said, and you know, it's amazing in those courses how much you remember little things, I guess, appeal to you. He said there's only one thing more contagious than enthusiasm, and it's lack of enthusiasm. So when you're up, you can take a lot of people with you, but when you're down, you can take more people with you down. And in selling, you must be up. You also need, and you must bring to the job, because we haven't had a chance to help you with this, negotiating skills. You need to be able to deal back and forth with a customer in a business relationship. And the last thing I wrote here to talk to you about is you need, if you don't have this, you're not going to have, you need curiosity. You need to be asking questions. What do you make here? When I sold, that was the first thing I asked when I walked in the door to the lady or the person I saw. What do you do here? It sure saves a lot of time, and usually very interesting. And they love to tell you. Thank goodness. Okay, page 1. Page 2 is, what does HISCO provide to you in your outside selling efforts? Well, we provide a lot of things. We provide a car. Let's move the screen here. I can see myself. We provide a car. I hope it's a good car. I hope it's a safe car. We'll buy you a bag to carry. Want to see mine? Just a second. From day one, I always carried this kind of bag. It opens in the top, and I always could lay it down beside the desk, and I could reach in here and take out things, and I could see in here the folder, and it would say Westinghouse, and I could pull the Westinghouse folder. It had a little extra space for carrying rolls of tape or things, small items that you want to sell, and then of course it can pick up. As opposed to the bag that you are familiar with where you lay it down, the hard bag, and you have to open up. You need a place to put that. So I always have enjoyed this kind of bag, and it fits under airplane seats, and it's kind of rough and tumble. You can throw it around. That's my kind of bag. And you need a bag that's conducive to making your job smooth when you're at the buyer's desk. You don't want something that's going to make you awkward. We buy you usually a desk and an office and a telephone and a calculator and on paper and pencil, all the things that you need to come to work and do a selling job at HISCO. But we provide more than that. We provide some really great backup people. As you know, we have training. We have our meetings weekly, I hope, to teach the CSRs to handle the customers that you call on. And as you know, those CSRs, we teach them. They are the heart of the company. They can make or break you. And we try real hard to make those persons as trained as we can and as customer-oriented as we can so that they can make you and not break you. And they are good, and you should pat them on the back every chance you get. They can really save your account, as you know. And so we give you the best backup people that we know how to provide to the customers and you. We give you a warehouse full of stuff. We have never been, again, parsimonious or cheap about putting in a lot of inventory. We believe in the store, we believe in stock, we believe in inventory, and we got it. From a management point of view, we always are fretting that we have too much and that we have surplus and things that don't sell. But from a salesperson's point of view, you got a lot of backup inventory in HISCO. We provide you with a local manager, and that gives you a lot of strength. The man you need to talk to is back there all the time. Anything that gets beyond what you want to make decisions on, locally there's a person who can give you an answer now, yay, nay, he's there. And that helps you a lot, I would think, in your selling. And he's experienced. We do not have managers who are not experienced in HISCO and in the technical and the selling side of our company. So you've got someone to go to that should have good answer for you. We give you quality things to sell. We have the top name brands that there are. So we give you quality lines to sell. We give you an open territory. We give you a list of accounts, and we say anything within there. There's not just a selected list of 23. You have lots of opportunities to sell more if you just take the time and go and visit more people. We give you a salary based on you selling more. And so you have every encouragement financially to do better. You can go where you like to go. We give you schedule freedom. You can go when you like to go. You make a deal with your customer and you go see him whenever you want to. We give you a computer that is par excellence, and it's tied branch to branch. So we give you not only the warehouse where you are, we give you 11 other warehouses to pull from, and they know, and they've been taught, ship it right away. So they back you up very strong. They believe in you and they back you up. We'll pay for your training. Go get some more training. You know, there's nothing new under the sun, but in repetition and in reminders, maybe we need to practice more of some of the things that we know we should do. And so we will finance your training. We are growth-minded. So when you come back and talk about wanting more, you catch our ear. We want more too. So you will not outgrow us. We will be right with you. We as a company and a corporation, we want to grow. We give you an expense account, and to my knowledge, I can't remember ever being angry with someone for spending too much money on customers. always stuck in my mind are things that I learned in my past. And one of my bosses at one time said to me, Merriman, he said, there's only one thing wrong with you. You don't spend enough money. And kind of an unusual thing to hear, but he was right. And so I say to you, spend money with your customers. Not on, with. We support you. We respect you. We think our salespersons are wonderful. And we have a feeling towards the salespeople knowing that until someone sells something, nothing happens. So we love what you do, we respect what you do, and you're very important to this company, and we all know that. And so you have an honored position in this company. And I guess the last thing here that HISCO provides, we pay for success. We will reward you in commensurate proportion to the success that you have. You sell more, you're going to make more. Okay, selling for HISCO. Who are you when you walk in the door? Talk some little bit, getting serious here. Are you selling, quote, selling something new that the customer has never seen before? Do you have something in your bag that this customer has never seen before, and you're going to go in there and talk them out of what they're now buying and using on their product or on their whatever they buy? In which case you have to be very knowledgeable about this, knowing their business, and very persuasive. It's almost like telling them what you were using now is wrong and what I have is right. This is selling. This is hard selling. And let's be honest, in HISCO, we don't have to do a lot of that. You really are, for the most part, going in to get an existing order. That being the case, you are not so much a selling person as you are a supplying person. And so your approach is sell the store. Sell those CSRs we talked about. Sell all those things that I said HISCO brings to the job, brings to you. The inventory, the computer-tied operations, the ability to provide the product the customer wants now. Availability is what we're selling. Availability, not price. As you know, almost everything we sell, customer could get it cheaper if he tried hard enough. You're selling availability, and you are selling, you say it, you'll do it. You are of integrity, and you mean it, and you have the ability to make things happen. So you're not really trying to persuade someone to change anything except where they've been buying. And if you can get them, theoretically, to call HISCO, the CSR, theoretically, should hold them from that time on. And the inventory we provide and the paperwork we send and all that, we should hold them at that point. You should really be able to go on and get another one to call in. It doesn't work that way. You need to go back. You need to build more business. You need to put out fires. There's always reasons to be back in there. But theoretically, once should be enough. So you're selling present products to people who know what they want. Now, many times they'll give you an opportunity. Do you have? Could you get? Is there such a thing? Can I have a data sheet? You do get these opportunities, and that requires you to be knowledgeable on your products, or at least know how to reach in that bag and bring out the thing that the customer might need or go get it. But predominantly you are selling HISCO, the store. We're no different than Kroger's, Neiman Marcus, I love to say that, needless markup, Handy Dan. We have what people want, we just want them to come to our store. We'll build the business and do a good job for suppliers and pick up the new and the persuasive stuff along the way. But what if the customer wants and uses something that you don't carry, that we don't have at HISCO? Now you're confronted with this great dilemma. Shall you try to switch him off onto something you have and go through this whole exercise of approvals, engineering, all that? Or shall you just try to give him and find for him what he already uses, and we'll take on a new line? You'll have to cope with that on a local basis, because every situation is different. Many of the lines we carry today are because we didn't have the line the customers wanted, and we went and got the line that the customer wanted today, and that's how we grew this business into some of the things we sell. Other lines we have, alpha metals, General Electric silicone. There's a lot of these people, they won't let us sell another line. So we have to sort of pick it up once in a while and sort of bootleg it over, and nobody's too angry, and try to switch them. So if they're using Kester, we have to try to switch them over to alpha. But if they're using tuck tape, we have tuck and 3M, we'll get the tuck. So you can play this game differently with each different set of circumstances. If they already buy the product that you sell, half your battle's won. There's no approvals. It's already set up. They love 3M tape. Now you sell HISCO. Really. That's when you pound on the table and sell these great people behind you, the fact that you'll bring it out in your car at night, and we stock a whole lot, and we keep the tape in a cold room, all the good things that we would sell the customer on HISCO. Buyers then need reassurance. Always remember, buyers need reassurance. I tell people when we open a new branch, especially, I say, you can't sell anybody anything if they're already happy with the people they're buying from. But every day, everywhere, somebody gets angry at their present supplier. So theoretically, your job is just keep coming back, be persistent. Eventually, the other guy will screw up, and when he screws up, you hope the buyer will say, oh, where's that card from that young fellow that's been coming in here all the time asking for our business? Let's call him. You didn't do a good job of selling. You just did a good job of keeping your name in front of him. The other guy did a good job of screwing up. And so you have to be ready for the opportunity. Now you sell. Now you come on. This is your moment to go in there and say, yes, sir, yes, sir. I'll tell you one little tip at that point, too. Invariably, when you get your chance, something will go wrong. You must really follow this thing and hand carry it almost all the way through, and it will still go wrong, and you'll be apologizing. I used to almost tell the buyers half the time, thank you, this is wonderful. I know from experience, probably something will not go right, but we're going to be really trying. It's just, we're all excited. It just happens that way, but you really have to watch over it. Don't take the new order and breeze along and forget about it. You really have to stay on top. Now, this is the moment. The buyer wants to be reassured when he goes home at night that he didn't do something stupid when he bought from you. If you can, you give testimonials. You say that some other customer, some other person, some anything, many other customers buy from you. General Electric's been buying this. Westinghouse has been buying this. RCA has been buying this. You use things and names and places without being blabbermouth or revealing secrets, giving him assurance that he can't go wrong, that this is the most popular item we sell. Anything you can think to give him reassurance that he can go home and relax. It's going to be all right, even though it's a big change. He's gone from his other supplier to you. The buyer wants availability. We should provide that. That's the name of the game at HISCO. And in many cases, a lot of things we sell are nuisance items to the buyer. And so you're really taking a monkey off his back by making it easy for him to get out of this nuisance situation. So when you get your chance, jump on it and follow it closely yourself. Don't depend on someone else. Okay, now we're going to talk about, let's take a break for a minute, of water. Let's talk about when you're making on the call, out on the call. First thing I wrote down here is appointments. There was a time when you could put the bag under your arm and go from door to door to door, and they walked out to the front and spoke with you. Get the impression, although I'm not selling, pretty hard to do that anymore. You almost cannot go into places unannounced. There are people in the back that sometimes you can call back and they'll come out. Purchasing looks like mostly has times now and office hours, if you will. So appointments. How many times we've all in sales driven a long way, gone out of our way to find out the man isn't there, won't be there, can't come out, he's in a meeting. That you feel kind of hurt, and maybe rightly so. So appointments help the cause. Your time, your face, in front of the customer's face, talking business is the name of the game. These are some little notes then that I want to pass on to you relative to the sales call. When you speak of time, generally, you must convey that time is important. Time is important to the person you're talking with. You must convey very subtly that your time is important, that this time together is important and should be handled with a lot of regard and not wasted. Small talk, giggling, laughing, stopping to get coffee, all these things, you have to somehow convey that you're not party to this. You came on a business call with your big smile. You are not at HISCO, we preach this over and over, you are not on a sales call, you are on a business call. You are not in there to sell, you are in there to do business with another businessman. How do you convey that time is important? You go right to work. You make the small talk, you watch very carefully to see that the small talk is sufficient, and go right to work. I brought this. He loves that. He wants you to be a businessman for business. He wants you to respect his time, and he wants you to respect him. You do that when you jump quickly into business. Make sure the small talk is behind you, but keep it minimal. Go to work on time. Show your sense of urgency for you and him. Use your watch. You can look at your watch now and then, especially when you start, but don't look at it to put pressure on anybody. It's a subtle thing. Always appear to be in a little hurry. Urgency. Talk quickly. Go right to work. Watch your man. Watch your lady. Watch the buyer. They'll give you the signals you need. What I'm trying to say in another way is, don't hunker down. Don't lay it on the table and say, what do you think of that? Keep up. Keep urgent. Be alert for bad days. I jog, and there are days it's very hard to jog, and there are other days you fly, and in selling, some days it's very hard to sell. No one knows why these things happen. They just happen. Be cautious of your bad days, and when you're in one, fight the good fight, but at least know it's there and come back. Be aware of it in the other person. They have bad days and they have busy days, and you can't get their attention. And all the sales tricks, throwing a dollar bill on the desk, would you like to save money or wouldn't you? That kind of stuff is not going to work. Nothing's going to work. You almost should say to the buyer, you are busy. This isn't going to work. I have something that's kind of involved. It's not that important. You have a lot of important things. Let's just wrap it up. I'll come back. Use good judgment on the call, respecting that there are bad days and busy days at the customer's location, and it's out of your control. Says here, well, let's even see it better. On my piece of paper, remember, if you don't remember anything else, remember this: ask questions. Ask questions and then listen. And pretty soon you'll hit a nerve. Who, what, where, when, hi, wow, wow, wow. Ask questions to get the customer to talk with you. Many people are shy. Some people don't like you, never did like you. Some people don't like the company you used to be with. And God forbid there might be someone there that doesn't like HISCO or me or the person that preceded you. Ask questions. It's a very powerful way to get the person to open up and talk. And when they talk, everything flows. And when they want to talk, do not interrupt. There's nothing wrong with dead air. When you're with a customer sometimes, there's nothing wrong in the middle of a back and forth repartee situation. Just let it sit there for a minute. That person will probably start to talk again, and you will be surprised and shocked that they weren't finished talking. They were pausing, and you almost jumped in and messed up the whole deal. Let a little dead air happen once in a while. It's good for sales. When you're with the customer, if you don't know the customer's business and what they do, ask. And they love to tell you. They're proud of where they work, or at least they should be, and they'll tell you, we make these widgets. And you say, what's good about those? They say, we make a better widget. And they'll go on. And they love to do that. And you should be truly, sincerely, genuinely interested. It's part of your job. Compliment the things you see that are good. If the place is clean, tell them, this place is clean. How do you keep it so clean? They'll say, it's not easy, boy. You have to come out here and do it all yourself. Ask them, though. Compliment and then ask, how did it get to be so good? If they are busy, tell them, you all look very busy. If they all look professional, tell them, hey, this is neat. You all look real professional in here. Tell them the good things you see. There's some no-nos. Do not curse. No matter what the other person says, or how foul or vulgar or crude that person is, don't come down there. Do not curse on sales calls. If you're going to tell a joke because you're bubbling with joke and the person you know loves to hear a good joke, be sure it's a quick joke. Do not tell long jokes. Do not tell third-party stories. Do not talk about your brother's sister-in-law. That is so far removed from the two of you that it's hard for this person to get involved. It's gossip. It's no fun. Watch out for third-party stories. However, it's okay to talk about yourself, especially early on in your relationship, because this person is saying to themselves, who is this person? Who is this salesperson? I want to know more about him. Can I trust him? Do I like this guy? Is he as bad as he seems, or is he as good as he seems? So it's okay to talk about yourself. Keep it short. Nothing wrong with saying, I won a tennis match yesterday. How about that? Nothing wrong with talking a little bit about yourself, especially early on. Keep it short. The person is looking for some information about you, just as you are, and should be, looking for more information about this person. Avoid telling one customer anything about another customer, because the minute you do, they'll say, if he talks about them to me, he'll talk about me to them. So you just don't talk about other customers unless you're using, as I said earlier, a little referral or something, but keep it general. Don't be a blabbermouth and untrustworthy for the customer to share secrets with you. In our company, as you can see already, we don't sell. You are called a salesperson, but you really don't sell in the downside of that word. And when I say that, I guess I mean you're not trying to set somebody up for the kill. You're not trying ever really to close. You want a continuing, steady, long-term, profitable business relationship. You are not door-to-door, you are not selling encyclopedias, and you are not trying to close a sale. You're trying to have a business relationship. Yes, you will close. Yes, you will go to a point where you're trying to get a signature. Yes, you will try to get them to switch. But I think you know what I'm saying. Lunch. Let's talk about lunch. Let's do lunch. Lunch is probably the bestest, singlest, fastest way to make a good relationship there is in the whole wide world of business. The buyer loves it. He gets a free lunch, and he gets to go to places he probably can't afford regularly anyway, most of them. These are some little things that I've learned, and I would pass on to you to consider. None of this is gospel. This is just passing on the baton, if you will. Never take anyone to lunch. Go with them. Offer to have lunch with them. Can we go to lunch together? But not, I'll take you to lunch. You don't need that. I don't like it when people call me and say, I'll take you to lunch. I don't want anybody taking me to lunch. I can take myself to lunch. But if they call and say, can we have lunch together? I say, I love it, because I like lunch. They know who'll pick up the bill. They understand that. You'll pick up the bill. At lunch, be real classy. Don't open the door for them. Make them feel big stuff. Pass them things. What would you like? Treat them real classy. Why not? Don't take the first dip out of the butter dish. Say, would you like the first dip out of the butter dish? Stuff like that. The drink thing becomes tricky, doesn't it? Shall we have a drink? Here comes the waitress. She says, anything from the bar? And now what do? You need a signal. Or is this person going to have a drink? And if this person has a drink, will I have a drink with them? Maybe I'm not a drinker. Maybe I love a drink. How do you cope with this? Some buyers in the course of events you will learn need a little help. So you have to signal them some way, and some of the little tricks would be, I could have a drink or not have a drink. How do you feel? How about a cold beer? That's what I used to say that a lot. How about a cold beer? Now that signals the guy that you'd have a beer with him. He also, if he wants something hard, he can say, well, I think I'll have just a scotch. So you can get the signal across that it's okay to order alcohol as far as you're concerned. And if you do signal him, then don't blow him out of the water and look up and say, well, I want milk. You might as well order a drink even if you don't drink it or sip it, but don't put him in the awkward position of being the only one having a drink unless you explain that to him. Please have a drink. Don't let me bother you. I'm not going to drink because I'm afraid I'll crash the car, or say something. But try to get through that comfortably and let the person have what they would like to have. The old 3-martini lunch days seem to be long behind us, thank God. And so it shouldn't be that difficult. It looks like most everybody these days doesn't want to drink. But there's a time and a place, and sometimes you can get the girl to help. What do you suggest? You and your own style of selling should be able to work through that. And as you can see, I don't have any magic words, but it's something you need to work through and be comfortable with. Whenever you have a relationship with the customer and businesses there, be very careful to not say, I will do something unless you're going to do it. Be careful not to say I when you really mean HISCO, unless you are the one. I'll ship that this afternoon. And let's be honest, you're not going to ship it that afternoon. HISCO is going to ship it that afternoon. At least say we. But you can say, I will check on it, and then you check on it. Watch what you say, the I, we thing, and whatever you say I, be sure you do it. And whenever you say we, then you can say, and I will follow up. Don't promise what you can't deliver. Very important thing that you don't see too often these days, taught to me when I was this big, and probably you too. Don't forget to say thank you. There's a whole lot of salespersons out there that do business all day long, and they're just too proud. They won't say thank you. I used to always say, and I pass on to you, I always say, this is a good order. This is the kind of order we really handle well. It's not something weird or different. We're good at this. Thank you very much. Boy, this is a good order. You can even say, boy, my manager's going to love this one. We needed more orders like this. Make a fuss. Say thank you. Make the fellow almost blush a little bit and say, oh, come on. It helps get the next one. Make him glad he gave you this order. Okay, we're going to talk about dress code. And today's the wrong day for me to talk to you about dress code. I'm wearing the two colors you really should never wear. Brown and green. But it's Saturday. Generally, we believe in HISCO, like so many other people in sales, dress for success. And the underlying motto of dress for success, a couple little phrases if you want, dress not for the job you have, dress for the job that you want to get. Now, in our case, you might want to be a manager or some higher position in our sales organization, and a person dresses the same. The bottom line here is you dress to please the person you're dealing with. And for many of you, you're dressing to please someone older than you. So the dress for success, want to say it another way, dress old. Back. Most of the people that you're going to deal with, generally speaking, have the money, and you want the money. To get the money, you have to have them like you and trust you. Easiest way is to look like them. And if they see in you the same appreciation for color and clothes that they have, it's a big start. So to dress for success, you dress like the person that you're trying to deal with. And as I say, he is usually a little older. You go where the money is. Our uniform in HISCO is, to summarize it, we try to say it's class. Beware that you don't let some nice lady try to dress you. Ladies have two words in their vocabulary that are just bad for we in sales. One is fashion, and the other one is style. You don't want to dress in fashion, and you don't want to dress in style. I think of those yellow ties that many of us wore. What do they call them? Power ties. Most men would never pick a yellow tie, and yet they were very popular. And I have to wonder how many ladies bought those yellow ties for the first men, and then pretty soon it became an accepted thing. You need to dress conservative, and a lady will dress you in style or in fashion, and she'll think in terms of colors, and you must think in terms of business colors. And the fact of the matter is, unless you are of a certain complexion or hairstyle, the big color for you is blue and black and gray. And normally, always a tie and a good business shirt. The Brooks Brothers look, the business look. So generally we're saying no browns, no greens in suits. Watch out for plaids, not too busy, but a subtle plaid is kind of slick. Knee socks, cover those legs. Wear the socks up to the knee. I'm talking to men here. I don't know enough to talk to ladies at all about dressing, but I think ladies dress the same way, don't they? They get a businessy type of appearance. We try to say, for simplicity, dress two plain, one fancy. If you're going to wear a fancy suit with checks, then wear a plain necktie, what do you call it? A single color necktie, and a white shirt, or a plain colored shirt. Two plain, one fancy. If you have a plain gray suit and a plain blue shirt, then you want a fancy tie. Two plain, one fancy. And when you're dressing in the morning, that helps you to settle it in. If you have a shirt with little flowers on it, get a plain tie and a plain suit. Sport coats, light colors, stripes, checks, dark browns, they're all okay, but it's not dressing for success, and that's not the way that old guy's going to be dressed that you call on. Now, I know you call in a lot of young engineers, a lot of young buyers, and they're dressed wild, some of them. It's become acceptable. But you at HISCO and we have taken a position, and our position is this is our uniform, this is the way we dress, this is the way we look. It's almost like a banker or a lawyer, and you have some freedom within the two planes of the fancy to give yourself a little bit of individuality, if you will. But at 5 o'clock or 6 o'clock when the day is done, go crazy. Do what you want. But when you're out selling, to be successful, there's a certain uniform that we have adopted, and it works. We had a meeting one time, this is a famous HISCO story, and we sat around talking just about this. And how shall we dress? And this classical story goes that we sat around, I think it was in Dallas, and we said, and one of the men said, when I go to West Texas and I'm out there with all those redneck cowboys, I wear my Western shirt and my Western belt and all that, my jeans, and I'm one of them. And we all sat around and we clucked and we said, isn't that wonderful? That's probably the way we should all do. And Don Bloom spoke up, and I'll always remember, and he said, not me. When I go out to West Texas, I wear my suit and my tie, and I dress the same there as I dress here. And we all stared at him, and he said, I wouldn't want them to think that I changed clothes and dressed down to be with them. And we all sat there kind of struck. He's right, and he was right then and he's right now. Now, later after that meeting, I went to West Texas and sold a lot, and I'd be out there with my hot suit and feeling like an idiot, and it would be 104 degrees. And eventually the customer would say, take that stupid jacket off. And then it was okay. But until he told me to take that stupid jacket off, I thought, that's my suit. And if he ever comes to Houston and walks in my office, he's going to find me the same person I was when I was out there. And you have that same obligation too. You are what you are, what you are. Don't dress down on some of these calls. Watch out for black and white shoes. No purples, no greens. Watch out for dressing Western. Mod. Face hair seems to be okay. I don't think we have anybody in the company now with a beard, but the mustaches are okay. Watch out for spiked hair. That's a no-no. Move this up. Let's go the other way. When you're in on a sales call, always make a sales call with a purpose. Don't visit. Ask yourself, before you get out of the car, why am I going in here? What do I want to accomplish? And when you come out to the car, you ask yourself, did I accomplish what I wanted to accomplish? If you do that on a regular basis, when you're in there, you'll be trying to accomplish what you are trying to accomplish. You won't forget. Otherwise, you'll walk outside and say, that was fun, but nothing happened. Watch your customer a lot. Look him in the eye. Turn your eyes away. Do whatever has to be done with this person and watch for clues. I told you about looking at your watch. Heaven help you when he looks at his watch. He has already signaled you that you've stayed too long. He's bored when he gives you this. I got to be somewhere. I got to get out of here is what he's saying. Close it down. When you get a signal to close it down, close it down. Because from then on, as soon as you get that signal, you're digging a hole. Get out of there fast. Say, hey, you're busy. I'm gone. When you're making small talk, keep it flowing and keep it positive. Watch out that it doesn't start, oh, that damn post office, they lost the mail again. Well, we had a case where my wife didn't get her letter for 3 weeks. Watch that it doesn't degenerate. When the small talk goes down, you are an up person. Don't participate. Always be aware of the time and try to sense the time you have. My mentor and one of my teachers used an expression that he was very proud of, and he said he uses relaxed concentration. It's a good word, and if you think about that for a while, when you're with the buyer, you are relaxed concentration. Why am I here? And look relaxed, and be relaxed, but be concentrating on why you're there. The customer expects a sales call. Give him what he wants. Speak in short sentences. Watch that you don't take too long to do anything. People's attention span these days, in the days of wham-bam TV commercials, it's very hard to hold anyone's attention anymore. Very hard. You have to be quick. You have to be quick. Keep inviting feedback. Ask for comments. How am I doing so far? I use that expression a lot. What do you think so far? How are we doing? Pause. As I said before, dead air, nothing wrong with it. Pause. Just in case that person's been bottling up something they want to bomb you with. Oh yeah! Give them a break. Give them a chance to do that. Ask little questions. Even if you grunt when the other person is talking, show attention while that person talks. I see, I see. Great expression, I see. Works fine. I think I understand. I see, when they're talking. And the old trick, when someone else is talking, especially if your mind is drifting and you're afraid they're going to notice it, lean in. Lean in. Maybe it'll help you get more attentive, but it certainly makes you look like you're more attentive. Something else, another good little trick when you're in selling, is make occasional notes. You should have something always ready anyway, and when they're talking you say, write something down. It drives them crazy. They wonder, what's he writing down? But it shows that you're paying attention and that something is triggered and you're thinking and you're with them. Don't write very long. Just put blue, green, something. But something to let them know that you're really in this conversation with them. If you don't get the order and you don't make the sale and you think you should have and you don't quite understand why, or you don't think the reason was fair, your price wasn't that high, say so. You are trying to give two impressions to the customer. One, that you're on commission and that he's hurt you some. And the other impression is you're going to live regardless. You're going to get by. So you're trying to convey disappointment. And you can say that. I'm disappointed. You're not crushed, you're not dead, but you're disappointed. I'm disappointed. I was looking forward to this. And move on. And say in some form that you're not giving up. I'm going to keep trying. You want to leave the door open in case it opens again and be welcome back. And let the person know that you'll be very happy if you're welcomed back by being a little disappointed today. It's okay. Your job in industrial selling generally, you have to wear well. You have to be able to come back. You're not in there for the one-shot kill, the Mexican close, the get the order and buy these encyclopedias and I'm gone. You have to make it okay that you can return. So you're trying to make it almost that they'll want you to return. You must wear well. On your sales call, let me get real close and say this one. On your sales call, when you're out there, you are me. I'm you. You are your manager. He is you. You sit in front of this person and you represent 100 other people who are behind you, who back you up, who are as good as we can get them, and you're the best we have. You are your CSR, you are the warehouse person, you are all of us, and all the good things I spoke of at HISCO. You are HISCO. And that's what the buyer sees. Speak well about us. Say nice things about me. Say nice things about the CSRs. Say nice things about your suppliers. Say nice things about everybody in this company. Let them know that you're proud of the company that you're with, and you're pleased with the way the company treats you. That makes them very comfortable, and they like that, and they admire that, and it'll make you feel better too. I think you'll like that. Oops. I'm going to talk a little bit about personal habits, and just for some variety, I'm going to stand up. We have this all worked out that I think you can still see me. I'm going to talk about shaking hands and first impressions. You walk in, and of course I'm talking mostly guys here. You walk in, you put your hand out, and it's the old story, the old Dale Carnegie stuff. Have your bag in your left hand, have your right hand extended, and shake hands correctly. There are still people out there putting a fish out. There are still people that extend a hand wrong, and you have felt that, I'm sure. Don't be one of those. Ask yourself. We even get up at our meetings now and then and practice this. Get a good, firm grip that's equal. Watch out the other fellow doesn't get there first and he's got your fingers, and watch that you don't get there first and you've got his fingers. This is a tricky thing, this handshake. Part of handshaking is you look the other person in the eyes. You walk up and you sort of thrust that hand out like, hey, I'm glad to be here. It's almost like the high fives. It's the whapping. It's the put that hand out there. Hi. I try to practice this at airports whenever you guys meet me at the airport. Hi, I'm practicing. And I look you in the eye, and you should look the person in the eye and say hi, and try to call them by name. That's a lot accomplished in one little. They're thrilled. You're firmly saying, I'm glad, I like this, I want to meet you, I want to be with you. You can get in the habit, some people have the habit, put the other hand on top. That's when you have a little more warm relationship. Hi, put your hand on there. Nice to meet you. Just a little slap on the back. Touching people really works. But in today's modern world, you got to get away from them kind of quickly. So it's okay to shake hands and put your hand up on the fellow's shoulder, or the lady even, but get it off of there quick. It's okay to hug, but let go quick. Don't linger too long with the hands-on stuff. And a good handshake is great. Handshaking when you meet a woman. And there's a lot of women out there. And they'll come out and you'll say, hi, Sally. My name is Paul Merriman. You have to watch their arm. You have to watch the right arm. The correct etiquette is you do not offer to shake hands with a woman unless she extends her hand. So if she extends her hand, then you be ready and you shake hands with this lady much more gently than you did with a man. It's firm, and you hold her hands and you shake the way you normally shake hands, however that is, and let her go. I wouldn't touch this person in any other way. And just shake hands, but only if she extends. So it's always an awkward moment when you meet a woman. You're watching those hands, and you got this hand ready, and you're ready to go. And that's part of life, and that's what you need to do. If you talk to women, and they tell you about men who shake their hands, they will almost all tell you that men hold their hands too tight and hurt them. So be careful when you're shaking hands with a woman that it's firm without hurting. Men don't realize the strength they have, and you know some men crunch you. They hurt the ladies. So it has to be firm without being, wishy-washy, but don't hurt the poor dear. Little squeeze. Now I'll sit down. That's enough of this big variety. Let's see. Let's close it up. Excuse me. Now some little odds and ends about personal habits beside that. Remember first impressions. Remember first impressions. It works with you. Works in romance again. You catch his eyes and first impressions. And that means for you, smile. If you walk in with a poker face, that first impression is, this is a poker-faced guy. You can judge a book by its cover. If you see, in first impression, a person that looks like they eat too much, they probably eat too much. If you see with your first impression a person that looks grouchy, they are probably grouchy, and on and on and on. If you see a person that looks stingy, they are probably stingy. And if you see a person that looks pleasant and happy and nice, they are probably pleasant and happy and nice, and that's what you want to do. And that's what you want to be. First impression. Make it a good one. Smile going in. It's like we tell the CSRs and the inside folks, smile on the phone. And we tell you too, smile on the phone. And smile going in. And not the first time, but every first time. Little odds and ends. A good HISCO salesperson never uses a toothpick in public. Don't come walking out of some restaurant with a toothpick stuck in your face. Really low class. Get up above that. We don't spit. We don't wheeze. We don't make funny noises. You're going to do that in a car. Eat quietly. All of these things are you are being judged by someone buying class. Do not drink beer or soda out of the bottle in public. Get a glass. If the buyer's doing it, then it's okay. Or in some of those restaurants where they serve the newspaper, and you bust the crab legs and we all drink long necks, I guess it's okay, but even then, get in the habit. It's kind of bad scene, not classy. Ronald Reagan doesn't drink beer. Michael Jackson or anybody high up, they just don't do that. And we want to be as high up as anybody. Keep your shoes shined. Keep your tie pulled up. I know it's hot, especially we in the Southwest. Keep that tie pulled up. Now, to do that correctly, you have to become a little more vain than you might normally be. Macho killer guys that we are, we sort of walk past mirrors. In selling, you must consider the mirror a very important tool and check it. Ties have a tendency to go here or there, and it's very distracting to talk to someone whose tie is off. You want to grab them and say, here. And your buyer's not going to do that. Do it to yourself before you see the buyer. Use that mirror in that car. Keep that tie straight and pulled up. Use deodorant, use aftershave, and don't use too much. The flavor and the aroma that you like might be the one that sets the other guy crazy. He hates it. So don't use a lot. You should not smell until people hug your neck. And remember your good grooming. If you work on the car on Sunday and get all greasy fingernails, get it all out of there before Monday morning. Be very conscious of your breath. Selling lends itself to close encounters. Selling lends itself to speaking as I'm speaking now, and you forceful, and people smell your breath. Be very conscious of your breath. Keep a clean car. A car is a tool. A car is a sign of you. We in HISCO insist that you keep a clean car. Wash your car yourself. Get to know your car. It's a tool, a very valuable tool. You take people in it. Know that there's no beer cans rattling around under the seat. If you have small children and they beat up the car a little bit, Sunday night, get that out of there. Make that car a business car for the week. Nobody should have to move anything when they get in your car. The car should be ready for that purchasing person in spiffy order. Please keep a safe car. Don't die. Don't get killed on the turnpike for want of a new tire. Buy the tire. We want you to live. We want you safe and no damages. Yes, it's good economics, but please don't kill yourself working for HISCO, at HISCO. Carry a stylish pen and pencil if you can. People give you these things in sales. Your relatives give you them. You can get them in business. Try to carry something relatively stylish. Don't reach in your pocket and pull out something that says Ace Bar and Grill. Have something with some style. It's just another little sign. No smoking. No smoking. When you're selling, when you're on a sales call or doing anything in a business sense, I don't care what the buyer does. No smoking. It just distracts, messes you up, gets in the way. Bad. What do you do when you get a customer objection? Well, I've learned some tricks. You've learned some tricks. Here are some of them. If your objection is price, when the customer gives you a price objection, you got to go around that some way. And so you have got to go to schools and classes and discuss, and in every way, usually you'll find out that that particular product that you're selling that might be a higher price than the one you're trying to, that your competition is, there's a reason. Lord knows what the reason is, but there's some kind of reason. It's different in some way. It commands this price. It has a special treatment. It's something. Sell that. Do your stuff. Now that's what you're paid to do. You're in sales. Turn it on. Get good at this. You should come to work hoping every day that somebody tells you your price is too high. God, I'm ready. Have yourself loaded up. Don't get caught surprised by a price objection. Always be ready. There's always some reason and some way to work around that. Develop your own style. People used to say to me, "You're competition." I'd say, "We don't have any competition. We have imitators, but we don't have competitors." Get cute. But stand your ground. If you concede on price quickly, the buyer's first instinct is there's more beyond that. So you really have to stand tough quite a while. Remember, your customer doesn't buy the cheapest car that he could buy. You can even tell him that. You got a Hyundai out there? Probably has a Buick. Why do he's not a price buyer. He's giving you that, and it's probably not true. Stand your ground sincerely on the price that you have, as best you can. But he doesn't buy the cheapest food in the world. He doesn't go to the cheapest restaurant. He's not really that. He doesn't have the cheapest clothes on. Now, somehow you have to convey that to him. You don't look like the kind of guy that would do this. Elevate him above price to the value that you're talking about. It's here. Yes, it costs a little bit more, but that's the way they price their goods, but we have it in stock, and it costs a little bit of that, and we have to keep it in a cold room. Turn it on, baby. Go. That's your job. What do you do when the customer's had a bad past experience and he whacks you with that? At that point, that bad past experience was probably with another time, another place. It's time for you to say something a little bit conceited. Well, I will watch over that. I wasn't here, but I promise you, from now on, don't dig up the past, but from now on, I'm going to give you my personal, sell you. Make promises. Say, I guarantee you, I promise you, I assure you, and then, of course, see to it that you keep the promise. He needs some reassurance at this point, or you're not going to get nowhere. He may want to buy from you, but he's worried and scared. So promise him personally. You call me. Here's my home phone number. Tell them to get me. I used to use that all the time. I'd say, call in there and just tell them to get me. They can get me. They know where I am all the time. Tell them to get me. I'll call you back, and we'll take care that this is done right. They like that, and they need that, and that's what you get paid for. If anything goes bad in the quality of product that you sell, and the B stage is bad, or the material cracks, or it doesn't work right for the customer for any reason, and he tells you this, be shocked. Be surprised. Find it hard to believe. Don't tell him he's a liar, but find it hard to believe. Maybe harder to understand. Never agree that the product is bad. Never agree that the product is bad. Never agree that the product isn't bad. Never disagree. Accept what the person says. If he says it's bad, then it's bad. If he says it's good, it's good. Whatever the customer says, it is acceptable or it is not acceptable. And if it's not acceptable, tell him, you're sorry that this happened, get it out of there, and do something about it. Get more material in there, do something. But never tell them, I think it's bad too. I don't. Stand by your supplier all the way. If it's faulty, you don't have to say it's faulty, but you can say, it looks like they have a skip on this one. I'm really surprised. They don't normally do this. This is shocking. Praise your suppliers just as you would praise us. And continue to say how proud you are to represent that company. Don't desert the supplier when he's in trouble. Stand by your man. Again, with an upset customer, if the old story, if you walk in and the customer says, this is the dumbest product you ever sold me, this product doesn't work, you said it was green and it's blue, and I hate this product, I never did want it, the price is too high, and I hate you too. He's really upset, and you're in deep trouble. One way around is to repeat each objection back to the customer in a very flat tone of voice. And he says, this product stinks. And so you say to him, the product stinks. Hopefully he will then say, well, it doesn't stink, but it smells bad. And you keep going with him. You say, it doesn't stink, it smells bad. And he will then say something to the effect, doesn't always smell bad. He will come down if he hears his own words coming back to him. Now he may at some point say, what, is there an echo in here? Are you crazy? I already said that. But in some effect, try to bring him down using his own words in their harshness back to him, and he will hear them, and he'll come down a little bit. And you hate me? He'll say, well, I don't hate you. That helps bring this thing down a little bit until you can get in there. And you're not going to agree, and you're not going to disagree. You're going to sympathize. I can see where you are angry. I understand this is really upsetting you. Wow. Oh, dear. Grunt. But don't agree and don't disagree. Stand by your supplier. Stand by the product. And if it's obviously wrong, if it was supposed to be blue and you open the can and it's green, tell them. It's nothing deal. Just admit the fact. This was supposed to be blue and it's green. How about that? And fix it. Right away, fix it. I'm glad I got here. Good night, give me that. Oh boy, let's get you the right stuff. Stay positive and move. This is your moment to show that you're good. All the things you've been saying, when the customer's in trouble, that's when you prove it. You almost hope customers get mad once in a while so that you can prove that you are the person you said and have been trying to tell him that you are. Good service. Get the rejected material out of there. No matter what it is, no matter how big it is, get it out of there. Don't let them see it. Every day they walk by it, they hate you more. Get it out of there right away. As soon as you find out you have a customer that's displeased with something, get it out of there. Bring it back. And it's wrong. I mean, it's bad. Whatever it is, it's bad. The customer says it's bad, and that's the end of that. If there's any blame, and you're there at the customer's, try to take the blame yourself. Try in every way you can to say, I wish I would have watched over this a little closer. I knew it was important to you. I wish I could have, I should have, and I'm sorry. Watch out that they're not blaming someone behind you, and you need those people, and you need their good relationship, and the customer needs their good relationship. Try to defuse this customer by giving him the goat in front of him now and have it over with. And he can look at you and he can say, well, that was just stupidity on your part. And you can say, yes, and now he feels better and it's clear and you can go on. If you try to transfer this bad feeling to someone else, he doesn't get that satisfaction. It's going to be more difficult for you. And now there's two of you in the company that he doesn't like. Stick your neck out and say, hit me, and feel better. Let him hit you. Take your lumps and win the war. We're getting to the end. I have no idea what the time is, but I'm having a good time. Finally, I've got 2 pages that say finally on here. Plan. You who are in outside sales, plan. Plan. Trying to find my diary here. My diary is all filled out for the next month, where I'll be, and you can change it. when I do mine, I do it in pencil for the future and in pen after it's completed. And you've heard it before, and I have to say it here, plan your work and work your plan. It works every time. And those that don't succeed in selling just don't obey those two. Plan your work and work your plan. It's all right there in those 6 words. Stay positive. Stay up 24 hours a day. We're not asking you in selling to be something fake, false, acting. Be yourself. And if you're not positive, change your evil ways and get positive. Your whole life will be better. Look around you at all the successful salespeople you know, and they are positive people. I love the people in HISCO. I love to come and visit with all of you because all of you are up and happy, and we joke and tease. And underneath that, a lot of people come to our company and they think this is a snap. Your customers all think this is all a big fun thing we have here at HISCO. All we do is talk nice and have fun and good times. They have no idea how hard we work. They have no idea what's going on in the background. Some of them join us. We hire them, and they are shocked. This was all just a happy bunch of people, but they work, and they get a lot of things done. And that's part of your personality, I hope, and will help you to go and grow with HISCO. Accentuate the positive and eliminate the negative. Can't say that enough to people in sales. You are almost a purveyor, a traveling happy show. Bring joy where you go. See the glass half full. See the sky partly sunny. Notice the weathermen, they say that a lot, partly cloudy. Where do these weathermen come from? It's partly sunny. Anybody knows that. They laugh and they say partly cloudy. When you're talking about the game last night, think about the good players on the lousy team. Look ahead. Try very hard. I have trouble with this one. Try very hard not to talk about the past. Try very hard to talk about the future. To sell successfully, you have to like life. You have to be happy with yourself. You have to bring a smile to people, and it's no big showy deal. And you have to not take yourself too seriously. And you know the type of person I mean. You almost have to be impervious to insult or offense. People cannot hurt you and they cannot offend you, because in selling, as you know, you're paid every day. It's the only job we know of where you're paid to have people say no and reject you all day long. It can grind you down. And it takes this plus and positive attitude that has to be built in there if you're going to succeed and enjoy selling. Go to classes. Go to sales classes. If nothing else, you commiserate with the others in the room. Anything that you learn will broaden and help you in your relationship people to people. Selling gives a lot of freedom. You get up in the morning and you go out to your car and you can go or do anything you want. It'll be months before your manager finds out. Watch out for those easy temptations. Watch out for the tricky temptations like the dental appointment at 10 o'clock in the morning. You have to tell your dentist the same thing the CSR tells the dentist. I can see you very early, I can see you very late, I can see you at lunchtime. I'm needed at my job. You are needed at your job too. This freedom does not give you freedom to take time off from work indiscriminately. Watch out when you feel like sleeping in. You have all these freedoms. You do not punch a clock, and it takes a certain self-starting type of personality to succeed here, and many don't make it, as you know. Watch out for the long lunches, watch out for alcohol, and watch out for the temptations of the open road. They're out there, and you're being rejected, and it happens, and stand tall. Now I'm down to more final. But it's the last page. People buy from people. Companies do not buy anything. HISCO doesn't buy anything. HISCO's customers buy things, and we in turn place the order with another person. We use products, but people buy from people. You do not call on Westinghouse, you call on Bill Smith. Westinghouse is not going to give you an order. Bill Smith, if you're going to get an order from Westinghouse, is going to give you a Westinghouse order. So we sell people. If that person doesn't want to deal with you, they will find a way not to deal with you. You can be the last nacho in town. They'll find a nacho out of town. They don't want to buy a nacho from you. And if they want to deal with you, no matter what your price is, they'll deal with you. They'll find a way to justify dealing with you. It happens all day, every day to you. You are succeeding because people like you and want to deal with you. So you know what I'm saying. It's truer than you think. People buy from people, and they find ways. Keep personal records. Keep a record of how many children a guy's got, when his birthdays are. It's really neat to walk in and say, wasn't your birthday yesterday? How's old Mary Ann? Isn't she in high school now? Little odds and ends. It really shows a personal interest. It's a little corny, but let's face it, it does work, and it's neat. Try to go for days at a time without using the word I or me. It's cute, it's fun, it's a trick to see how long you can go without using the word I or me in your conversation. You have to be careful you don't start saying, well, Paul Merriman likes, when you really want to say I like. But instead of saying I like something, you say, this is neat. Take I and me out and find another way of talking. When you do that often enough, you come out of yourself, you do become interested in people, and you're not so darn conceited, and you are not taking yourself so serious. Really is healthy. Listen around you how many people that bore you say I and me, and don't join those ranks. And that's the simple way. Just stop it. Try it for days at a time. See how many hours you can go. It is fun, and you'll notice it in other people, and it helps you sell. Conversely, when you think you've got that mastered, now start seeing how many times you can throw the word you into the conversation. You'd like this. Before you say something, oh, you'd really appreciate this. We have in HISCO some people that are fantastic at this. Watch around you. We have some wonderful people who are very, very skillful at coming out of them and into you. Really good. Tape yourself like I'm doing here. Take a videotape as if you can and just practice your stuff, and watch out you find yourself maybe doing this, or you find yourself making noises and you didn't know you had those features. Tape yourself, listen to yourself, hear your voice, practice your spiel. See what's good and bad. Helps you. Use those mirrors, like I said. You have to be a little bit more vain than maybe you are conscious of. And in selling, act, think, talk, walk, everything success. Be proud. Hold your head up. Drive correctly. Keep a neat desk. Everything's success. You are what you think. You will be what you want to be. You will get what you ask for. You are what you think, and you will soon be what you think you are. All athletes, all successful people in the arts visualize themselves in the position of winning, in the position of the big opera, and pretty soon they are there. And to them it's almost like deja vu. It's like they've been there because they saw themselves crossing the finish line. They saw themselves score the touchdown. It's almost a replay for them. You should do likewise. See yourself in success. Visualize success. It works. As long as you work at HISCO, do not ever, please, compromise your ethical, your principles, your religion, your own standards. That's in the ethics tape, and I say it to you here. Keep your principles, keep your dignity. Watch that customers and selling situations, they can degenerate into some ugliness sometimes, as life. Don't compromise yourself. Nothing's that important. Be your own person, be strong, and be yourself. Don't let us do anything or hurt you in any way. Remember when you're making the sales call, the person you're dealing with has their own troubles, they are a person, and think of them as a person of emotion. And watch out when they step on you some and you get pushed a little bit and it grinds you down. Please try to remember you probably earn more, you know more, you're dressed better, you're more appreciated by the people that you work with, you have more freedom, probably have a nicer car, you are in every way as good as, certainly, in many ways better off than the person that you're dealing with, and yet you must put them on the pillar and hold them up and treat them nice. And sometimes when they treat you bad, remember that you are who you are and you're not all bad. You're very good. And last but not least on that little subject, you remember if things aren't going right, when you leave, and he has to stay there. So you're doing okay. Please drive carefully. Please be safe. Obey the laws. Take care of yourself physically. That's important. As you know, you have to stay kind of strong physically. And the last word I have is, let me get close. Oops. Again, as I say on these tapes, on behalf of all the other people, the other stockholders, if you will, thank you for the hard work that you do here at HISCO. And so, goodbye. Now.